I call to order this board meeting of the Raymore Parks and Rec. Mr. Director, call to order, please.
Thank you. We'll call Member Van Aken. Present. He's here. Member Collier is absent tonight. Member Manson.
Present.
Member Scott.
Present.
Member Keys.
Here.
Member Troutman.
Yes, sir.
Member Wilson. Member Cooper.
Present.
Member Mapes.
Present.
We have quorum, sir.
Excellent. Let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I do see that we have personal appearances and presentations tonight, so Mr. Director, if you could.
Yes, tonight we're going to read a proclamation, and then we will pass this on to our members in the audience. So I'll stand up here and do this for the proclamation. So whereas on May 21st, 1881, the USTA, originally known as the United States National Lawn Tennis Association, was founded in New York City, New York, to create rules and standards for the emerging game of lawn tennis. And whereas the USTA is the nonprofit national governing body for tennis in the United States and leads the promotion and growth of the sport at every level of play, from beginners to professionals at the U.S. Open. And whereas the USTA is the largest tennis organization in the world, with over 550,000 members from every corner of the country. And whereas the USTA proudly partners with local tennis programs to showcase the important health, social, and educational benefits of tennis and make the sport available to everyone, regardless of age, environment, condition, or ability, through its USTA adaptive grants. And whereas the latest research by the Physical Activity Council shows that more than 25.7 million Americans played tennis in 2024, an unprecedented 46% increase in participation over 2019, and the highest number of players since the PAC study began in 2007. And whereas by increasing the accessibility of tennis for citizens of Raymore of all ages and ability, the USTA has contributed to making our community happier and healthier. And whereas USTA has declared the month of May as National Tennis Month to encourage players, organizations, facilities, retailers, tennis manufacturers, and more to promote local programs and activities at parks and facilities to showcase tennis and spread the word about the sport and its benefits, and to help players and non-players alike find courts and play opportunities in the community. Now, therefore, I, Christopher P. Turnbow, on his behalf, Mayor of the City of Raymore, recognize the month of May as National Tennis Month. So just a quick note, we do have 4 tennis courts at Recreation Park with lights that are available, and we also have 2 tennis courts at Memorial Park. The Memorial Park facility, when it was built in 2003, won a Facility of the Year through the National Tennis Association. So we've been working with the USTA for a long time, since I've been doing it, and happy to provide this proclamation to, I believe, Noah and Rebecca. Am I correct? All right, so we'll give this to them. And there you go. Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much.
All right. And that concludes that, sir. Would you guys like to say anything? We're pretty informal.
Thank you.
There you go.
We're happy to provide our services to this great city and continue to grow tennis. So anything we can do to help you out, please let me know. Like I said, facility grants are available, so just get my email and we can talk about that.
Good. Excellent. We need some
Thank you
facts.
very much.
Thank you.
Any other appearances, presentations, Director?
That is it for this evening, sir.
Thank you. Let's move on to consent of the agenda, approval for the minutes from March 25th, 2025 meeting.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I move we approve the minutes from the March 25th, 2025 meeting.
Thank you. Hearing a first, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Tie.
hearing 2 seconds.
I'm giving it to Chris.
Any discussion? No. We'll go to vote. All those in favor? That passes, 1 abstain with Dan.
Oh, Dan abstained. Okay, sorry, I didn't catch that.
So 1, 2, 7, yep.
Okay.
Okay, we'll move on to staff reports, and I'll pass it on over to Director Mustine.
Thank you. I will ask Mr. Brennan to give a recreation report.
Thank you, sir. I am going to ask our recreation coordinator, Cecilia Walter, to come up and give a staff report.
Hello. All right. So this past weekend, we had our Easter Festival. We filled all 4 ball fields and our 0 to 2 area. Our smallest group was the 3rd and 4th grade, which is a interesting little fact that I've learned this year. We had community volunteers help fill eggs. We had Mazuma, Foxwood Springs, Ray Peck Academy. The Ray Peck Academy actually held a contest between their classes to see which class would fill the most eggs. And one class filled 1,200 eggs. I thought that was pretty impressive. Altogether, they totaled 5,267 of the eggs that were filled this year. And then this year, we added a kid zone. It was sponsored by the Community Bank of Raymore. We had games, an inflatable slide, and the kids were just having a great time. The fishing game also there too, bunch of prizes. We worked with Partners for Student and hosted by Hannah, who provided our kid-friendly craft and a take-home bracelet kit. And she also provided the Bunny's festive balloon columns, if you guys have seen pictures. They're on the side, they're really cute. And our friends over at South Metro were there, handing out hot dogs, used their fire truck alarm to signal the start of the dash. The weather was not ideal, but the rain held out for the bulk of the event. Rained before, rained after, during pickup and setup and cleanup. But during, I think everyone had a pretty good time. Upcoming, we have Movie in the Bark. It's over Mother's Day weekend. Friday night, we're showing Mamma Mia. We're also going to have caricature artists come out, and they will draw pictures of the person and their dog. So, dog lovers, come on out. There's going to be dog treats, popcorn for people, not dogs. And what else do we have? And then Touch a Truck will be over Father's Day weekend on the 14th in June.
Thank you, Cecilia.
Any questions?
I have a comment I'd like to make. I was able to attend Saturday morning. My first opportunity to attend an Easter event. Quite impressive. I mean, all the entrances had legible signs that directed the kids and parents to all the fields that were necessary, proper fields. Lots of volunteers, police and fire, and all the other volunteer groups, Boy Scouts and all the other groups that were there. Everybody had big smiles, got to have their picture taken with the Easter Bunny, and looked like they were having a really good time. So we appreciate how well organized it was, and look forward to next year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No, I will give a quick update on the athletic side. Our athletic coordinator, Nick Cook, did hold coaches' meetings last week, and practices for baseball and softball began yesterday. So parents should have heard from coaches. If they have not, please reach out to Nick. We'll get them pointed in the right direction. As far as our registration count, I believe we ended up with 515 participants registered for this spring. And so with that, that does conclude the rec staff report. And if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Todd, can you give me an idea what previous spring baseball sign-up would be, just roughly? you might not have that number, but are we up? a
We
bit?
are up. I don't have the exact number. It's in the between 500 to 505 range. So we saw a slight increase from
Okay,
last
good,
year.
Good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Todd.
I'll ask Mr. Rulo to give a report on the Parks Division.
Thank you. I submitted a report, but wanted to just touch on a few things. I'm not sure if I reported it last month or not, but the guys did do some work down in Recreation Park, doing a little repair work to the concession stands and the Optimist shelter. We repainted the Optimist shelter and power washed all the concession stands. The fascia boards have been neglected for quite a few years. Power washed them and then put a new coat of paint on them, try to Band-Aid them along till I think 2 years when we're putting some money into the concession stands. So they've done that. Wanted to thank everybody who showed up to the Easter event last Saturday. I think Cecilia did an excellent job again, and I think it went over really well. Also, the guys are out with all the rain that we've had in the past couple days and what we have coming towards us. Bear with us if we aren't there when we usually are. We'll be there soon. Just remember, residential mower weighs about 40 pounds, and our mowers weigh about 1,500. So when it's wet, we can't always get there, but we will be back. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Mine's more of a comment. Cecilia did a great job, but I had to drop my daughter off, and your guys were already there busting their butts. So it takes a team effort to put on something like that. So I wanted to thank your guys too, because they were out there. It was pretty cold early in the morning for sure. I think that was about 7:15, and it was so. But they were all out there moving signs and everything around. So thank your guys as well.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, so I did not submit a written report, just want to do a couple quick updates. First of all, I want to welcome our new park board member, Mr. Mike Van Aken. We'll do some more formal introductions during our work session, but I did want to recognize, for those of you who've been here for a while, the new face on the board down at the end. And then what I also want to mostly talk about is vandalism in the parks. I know it's been kind of a hot topic, especially from our perspective, as we're the ones who find it every morning, deal with it, or dealing with pricing. Myself and the chief of police gave a report to the city council last night during the work session. So the first 30 minutes of that work session is a pretty decent outline of what we've been dealing with. Ultimately, although all the parks have been tagged or hit or vandalized in one way or the other, Hawk Ridge Park, specifically the shelter and the Hawks Nest Playground, continue to be the most vandalized area. And there's really no rhyme or reason to it. We have cameras out there. I mean, we're seeing these folks, and we're catching these folks, and we could talk for a long time about the reason and why. The fact of the matter is that they're just damaging it, and they're not trying to be sneaky about it. In some cases, most of the damage is done in broad daylight while there's other people out at the park. So last night, we talked about 2 or 3 different solutions that we can do. Ultimately, it's the awareness and providing the opportunity for those others that are at the park to call, to say something, not to necessarily, I mean, that's awkward to be confrontational to others, but we want to make sure that there's information and signage out there that give people who are using the park the way they're supposed to an opportunity to report someone who is not using the park appropriately. Essentially what we've got, and we can get into it more if you want to call or watch that video. But essentially, we're looking right now at about $7,500 worth of damage over the past 8 weeks. And we have one piece of equipment that you guys will know. It's essentially a merry-go-round, but it's in the shape of a tree. There's one at TB Hanna and one at Hawk's Nest. We have video of about 13 young people using the piece of equipment, but not using it appropriately and with intent to cause damage. And they very well may have bent the frame or broken the foundation underneath the surface. We're having that inspected. You'll see us that we reported last night. If that is the case and that is damaged, that's about a $55,000 replacement. And it's done for the season. We'll have to cut it out and patch it and just wait until we get a new piece in. A lot of things will domino from that, so there's really nothing to report until the manufacturer comes out and does the inspection. Just to sum up and give you a quick, a quick summary on what last night was. Like I said, please watch the video if you're interested in this, and then you can call. But essentially what we're talking about is signage at all the playgrounds, not just two parts of signs. Some of it is more of an awareness, like if you see it, say something. Here's how you call us during the day. Here's how you call us after hours. Here's what you do if you witness something and the act happening. We're not asking people to confront anybody, but we want to make sure that the information is there so you don't just walk away or you just get in your car and leave because it's, unpleasant or unsafe, but there's a way for you to contact the police or us. So that type of information, and these signs would be placed at all of our playgrounds, not just Hawk Ridge. The other would be more of a rule sign in terms of like in the front entrance or of what you can and can't do in a playground. We have to be careful. Like in the old days, we would have a playground that was specific to 0 to 2-year-olds, and you could post it. This playground's for 0 to 2-year-olds, and then you would have a 5 to 12-year-old. Well, one of the things that's unique about our playgrounds is that they're universally designed for all ages. So you can't post an age because you've created it to be for everyone. And so the sign has to be more about how to use the equipment. That's what we're working on with, we're making calls to the manufacturer of has this happened before? Do you already have a template for this? Do you have something we can use? So we got to investigate that of what it's going to be. Some of it will also be specific on the play equipment. Like, even though it's universally designed for all ages, that doesn't mean all ages or all shapes, sizes can use every piece. It means something within the whole playground can be used. So a swing set designed for a 2 to 5-year-old still can't be used for the adult. So we're looking at if the manufacturer has stickers or something you can put on the piece saying this piece of equipment is designed for this age or this weight limit. We actually had that at Hawk Ridge Park on some of the equipment. It was one of the first things that got tore off was the stickers. We can put it back on, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to last for very long. But those are a couple of the things. The other, obviously, from a police perspective, and this is what the chief talked about last night, is increased patrols. Just being a bigger presence in those areas, especially for the time being while it's very active, and vandalism goes in cycles. Some years it's minimal, and then other years it's just rampant, and this is one of those years where it's high impact for us. So the police department is willing to make more frequent patrols, actually get out and set the car there and walk around and do those things to have a presence. And the fourth thing, the two types of signs, the police, and then the fourth thing is increased cameras. So we're investigating the different types of cameras, what we can use, whether they are on sensors or triggers or motion lights, how all that works, who gets notified. There's just several different ways and methods that we can go about this. So we're working with the police on what's the most effective tool that they would like to see, and then working with IT on the information or the technology that they need. And then, of course, ultimately, the city council is requesting to know how much we need from them to be able to purchase this and install it. So tonight, my report is just to update you. The last night's council report was at their request from myself and the police chief. So we'll keep you as a board updated on what transpires and the information that's passed back and forth as much as I can. And we'll keep you on top of that. But I think the lesson that we've learned right now is on the videos that we've obtained through our current camera systems, the thing that's most disappointing outside of just the fact that we have young people destroying things that aren't theirs, it's the number of adults that are standing around not really doing anything, not reporting. And that's kind of disheartening that there's not the foresight to just call 911, call the non-emergency number and say, hey, stuff's getting tore up. Because I don't think most people realize just how expensive each piece of equipment is. Two things at Hawk Ridge Park, or the Hawks Nest Playground, were damaged. One was a musical percussion piece. It looks like a 3-pedaled flower with drumsticks that are attached to it, and it's literally one of the pedals got pulled off. Well, that can't be replaced. That's $6,500 to remove, repurchase, and replace that one piece. And then, like I said, if the tree turns out to be, that's $55,000, and things are not cheap. You guys remember it took us over 5 years to fundraise and save and get to the point where we have that playground. So it's a big deal, and we want to make sure we're taking care of it. Other little things are, spray paint. We got videos of kids just flat out spray painting tables, walls, and Steve will tell you that we have solvents that help take that off, but it's not just you spray and wipe off. I mean, there's some work involved to it, and the stuff's not cheap. It's $100 a gallon just to have that type of stuff. There's also, they're pulling light fixtures off of the shelters, ripping off the water fountains off the buildings. I mean, just things that are unnecessary. And so we're on it. We know about it, and I just wanted to brief the board on that. So I'm happy to answer any questions. If we want a further discussion, we can bring it up during work session, during our open discussion time at that point. But that concludes staff reports for this evening.
Any questions for the director? Okay.
I have one. Nate, is there any recourse? I mean, you got these people on video. We're trying to find them and do something about that?
So the chief does a really good job of describing the process, next steps, in last night's report. So I would actually encourage you to go back and watch that, because he'll do a lot better job. Essentially, to summarize this, it's tricky when they're minors. I mean, just because we get them on camera doesn't mean you can immediately go and prosecute them. When they're underage, you have to have parental permission, you have to have child services permission, and there's limitations by state statute of what you can ask for in restitution. There's a cap on stuff. So the idea that we will get $55,000 to replace it is slim to none. And so then now you're talking into filing for insurance claims, and you can even go so far as to civil lawsuits and things of that nature. So he does a great job of summarizing the limitations and then also what they're doing. I mean, they are still watching the video. They're looking for these folks and requesting the interviews and going through their process, and it's time consuming as well. So, yeah, they're doing what they can. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Director. Looks like, nope, they're good. Okay. I don't see any unfinished business from last week. So we'll move on to new business, and once again, I'll pass it over to you, Director.
Thanks, sir. Tonight before you is an award of contract for our lake and pond management program. We obviously have Johnston Lake at Hawkridge Park, and we have Recreation Park Pond. I will say they don't look really nice or at the level that they are because it's just what happens, you know. We actually have a contract with a company that comes in, treats the water, dyes the water, maintains the underwater vegetation, services our fountains. They are, it's essentially a lawn care contract for the water is ultimately what it is. This is a one-year contract with the option to renew for 2 additional one-year terms. Ultimately, it's a 3-year contract if we're content with the service provided. This will be the second time that we've actually contracted this. Prior to 3 years ago, we were just kind of quoting this every year and getting the service. 3 years ago, we contracted this out. And so over the course of that 3 years, we've learned what works, what doesn't work. We have tweaked the terms of the contract or the scope of work a little bit. The thing to note for the board is Johnston Lake also meets qualifications under the Missouri Department of Conservation. So this particular contract, if you read the scope of work, allows for this company to work with the department so that we're not doubling services and paying for things. So Department of Conservation provides some free treatments that they're willing to do. This contract supplements what they do. Recreation Park Pond, it's the full service. They service the fountain and they take care of everything. And so it's a 2-part. Within the scope of work, talks about the number of treatments, how many times they come out in a service year, what they do. It's very specific. Recreation Park Pond, this contract also includes the service of that fountain. That fountain is a very different level of fountain as to what we have at Johnston Lake. Recreation, you'll notice that at Rec Park, that fountain stays out year-round and works year-round. The fountain at Johnston Lake, we actually pull it for the winter and service it and store it, and it's on a whole separate deal, so that is not included here. We bid this out, advertised it in February, received 2 bids. Both companies have worked with us before on this, are very familiar with this. This is a new Solitude Lake was our original company that we were 3-quoting with several years ago, and the competitor for them is Aquatic Solutions. We had good bids, compared, close, and Solitude Lake was the lowest, most responsive bidder on this particular one. So we are recommending award a contract to Solitude Lake, and that will, upon approval of the City Council, it will begin effectively June 1st, depending on how the council calendar falls in line. And I'm happy to answer any questions, be more specific, but that concludes staff report.
Any questions for the director? Do I hear a motion to, first?
Request a motion to
Request
approve the
a motion.
contract.
Yeah, sorry, my computer
That's
went
okay.
black and threw me all off.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion to award a contract for lake and pond management to Solitude Lake Management LLC.
Thank you. Hearing a first, do I hear a second?
Second it.
Thank you. Hearing a first and second, is there any discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Passes 8-0. So- Then, Director, were you going to talk about policy approval as well?
Yes, the next item is our policy approval, and I will call on Recreation Superintendent Brennan to present this topic.
Thank you, sir. Park Chair, members of the board, tonight we are presenting updates to our facility rental policy that we first presented to you back during the March work session. Within the facility rental policy, there are 3 separate policies built into it. I'm just going to go over those real quickly with you. Those include the private function rental policy, the special event rental policy, and the athletic facility rental policy. The updates that were made, first with the private function rental policy. Prior to the updates, the policy stated that the setup and takedown of the private rental was solely on the renters. We have updated that to state that the city staff is solely responsible for setup and takedown of those rentals. And then the updates that were made within the special event rental policy and the athletic facility rental policy were the update of fees. We updated those so that they reflected what the 2024-2025 schedule of fees are currently. And so those were the only updates that we made with those policies. And with that, that concludes my staff report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
For staff takedown, setup and takedown, is that mostly since they're using our equipment, you want your staff to be responsible?
It does include our equipment. It also, that equipment is stored in areas that are only for city staff to enter into.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Mr. Todd, I noticed I didn't see a pricing for the pickleball courts, or have we not established that yet, since we haven't really kind of got a handle on it yet?
That and we haven't got to the current schedule of fees that we are currently going over. So you'll see those included in the 2025-2026 schedule of fees when we get to it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Do I have a motion to move forward with the new, policy approval for the facility rental policy?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Oh, heck. I move that we approve the policy, updates to policy 100.1010, facility rentals and its subsidiaries, private function rentals, social event rentals, and athletic facility rentals.
Thank you. Hearing a first, do I hear a second?
I second it.
Hearing a first and second, is there any discussion? Thank you. All those in favor? It passes 8-0. I do not believe that we have any public comment. I would like to move to board member comment, and I'd like to start with Bill, please.
Somehow that's not a surprise. All right. In general, this is my last meeting. I'm resigning from the board, effective the end of this, well, the end of the month. It's been a good long term for me. It's been 12 years. And I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a highly professional staff. I've been privileged to act as both a chair and vice chair and a board member with them. I've seen us receive national recognition due to their efforts and, of course, the board's input. But more importantly, I know in the future we're going to see a lot more. I like a board that's not contentious, that works well together, and it always has. And I hope it continues to do so. And it's been a privilege to work with everybody on this board and with the staff. In turn, I also want to thank the city council, and in particular the mayor and the city manager, for their cooperation and support. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to achieve the things we have. And in particular, too, I want to thank Mr. Mustine, who has given me humorous moments over the years. And I'm not excluding you, Steve. Mr. Rulo's also given me a number. I haven't seen a better Santa Claus. I also think he'd make a good Easter bunny. But in turn, I wish the best for everybody, and I hope everything continues in the right direction that it's been going. And I'll keep monitoring things from a distance. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. And there's always the public comment if you need to come back. All right. Dan?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks, Bill, for all your time on the board. And man, it's disappointing to see people vandalize our parks that we worked so hard to put together. Hope we can come to a solution to that. That's it.
Ken?
I honestly can't add anything to what's been said so far, so just thank you guys for doing what you do. And you too, Cecilia.
Mike?
Just again, I'd like to say thanks to the staff and everybody, volunteers that were all involved on the Easter egg hunt. Also, it's important to note that in many of our surveys, the parks and recreation and the locations that we have throughout our city are noted as some of the most important things for residents. They acknowledge the great job that you all have done, but you can't do it by yourself. And that's one of the problems. Vandalism is a quick, silent kind of attack on our properties. And the staff is only available during the day hours for the most part, unless there's something unusual going on. The police have other responsibilities, but are going to include more activities that will allow them to check out our parks. And the most prevalent safety that we have are the actual people using the parks, because they're there at all unknown hours using the parks when the parks are open. And we really need the help of the citizens to get involved in this. From a law enforcement perspective, years ago we came out with this saying, see something, say something. Originally that was more connected to a terrorism type approach or very serious violent crimes, but it can filter down to any crime that you might see or any activity, suspicious activity that you might see. And we really could use your help on reporting those and trying to make it a little bit safer and less costly, because we've been told tonight that replacement costs on some of these events through actual monetary and manpower are quite extensive. So please get a hold of the police department. If you're out there walking and you see something unusual or destructive, let them know so we can follow up on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve?
First off, Mr. Mike Van Aken, thanks for joining the board. I've had the privilege of working with Mike on another board for over a year, and man, full of knowledge, so we're glad to have you here. To your staff, special events are always a awesome deal. Unfortunately for you guys and gals, it tends to be the most stressful, but it amazes me in my time here how you guys seem to all pull together like a team and make it the best moving forward. I had no idea you were Santa Claus. That ruined it for me. I thought Santa was real, but okay, he was kidding me. Okay, good. The only thing that I would move forward, I appreciate Mike going out there, but we need more board support of these events, including myself. So I challenge the board as a board member just to let's get involved in these events, because if you go out to the events, they're amazing. And it does take a lot of work. So I appreciate that. Bill. Yes. Good news, bad news. You've been my mentor through this. I remember when I first came on the board in 2016, I'd been on several boards, but I'd never been in a government board. And you quickly took me under your wing and helped me understand the difference between that kind of board versus a banking board or a church board or so forth. So for that, I'll thank you. You've made me a better citizen volunteer because of you. And you made me a much better person. Now that only moves us from a scale of 1 to 10 to 3 to 10, but I appreciate all that you've done. If it wasn't for you, God, this hurts to say this, but if it wasn't for you, this board would not be where we are now, which is a well-oiled machine. So thank you for what you do. And last but not least, Ken, I'll expect you to pick me up now that you don't have Bill to pick up and get me snacks and so forth. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike, I'll jump to you. If you have anything to say, feel free. If not, don't worry.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for their trust in bringing me onto the board. Never thought I would sit up here. It's kind of amazing. I've sat out in the crowd quite a bit, but in past years, but thank you. I hope to be able to work with you and work well with you.
Thank you. I'm sure we will. Chris?
Just like to thank Bill for his time up here. And your business idea just might take off now.
Thank you. Yeah, having someone with 12 years experience on the board and just tons and tons of knowledge about Raymore Parks and Rec has been very beneficial for me coming in as a new chair, along with Nathan and Steve, trying to learn and listening to you guys go back and forth and hearing everything and the ideas has been very beneficial for all of us. I'll kind of repeat from Steve what I've heard, that this board would not be as well run without you having taken control and being on the board for so long. So thank you very much. And then I do want to kind of touch, I've been kind of thinking about it for a little bit. Steve said something about trying to get out. I do, as a board, want to be as visible as possible if we can, try and get out to more things. Don't necessarily have to be heard, but I think being seen at those things would be a very good thing for us as a board. And before we do anything, I'll throw it back to Director Mustine, please.
Yeah, thank you. I do want to say a couple of things. First of all, welcome, Mike Van Aken. When I started in 2002 doing Cecilia's job and Nick's job, Mike was the first contact I had with the South Metro, and we've been working together and doing special events together for a long time. We did family dances every Valentine's Day for several years in a row, and so I put complete trust in Mike. I'm excited to see him on this board, and so very, very thankful for you to give your time up for us. So appreciate you joining us. And Bill, been working together for 10 years. If you look across the board, you're the last member on the board that was in my interview when I was hired. So I've outlasted you all, so that's a good thing. I work every day to make sure that you didn't. So I just thank you for putting your trust in me and for selecting me to help run this fine department. And as you can see, even though members come and go, the board that has been established that you and I have worked together to create a process continues to work well by just moving pieces and parts, and the process works. And it wasn't always that way when we started. And so I just want to thank you for your time and your investment into me and my staff. And so that's it. Appreciate you. Thank you. You're always welcome in our department, and you have to bring your own coffee cup from now on. So that's very good, sir.
Thank you very much. That should conclude. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
for the last time, I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
And I'll second it.